Good evening, everyone. So the gameplay trailer for Kunimitsu just dropped on the Tekken YouTube, and it also includes a couple of new moves for legacy characters. Now, I typically don't do these sort of trailer breakdown kind of videos, but I was just kind of bored tonight, so I thought, fuck it, let's have a look together and see if we can learn something from what they show. And they're going to start with a gameplay showcase on Kunimitsu, just like we were suspecting. I'm going to be playing this video at slowed down speed so we get a sense for what's actually going on. So this first move that we see right here looks like Kunimitsu's new down forward 2 to me. She used to have down forward 2, but it was a much more standard looking move. The standard kind of uppercut that you see, for example, on Shaheen, much less dramatic. This looks like it's going to have better range to me, probably impacting somewhere between 15 and 16 frames. And I think it's going to be your go-to standard whiff punishing launcher with the character. It looks like it has pretty decent range. It's difficult to get a sense for it because Master Raven is very close when she gets launched here, but you can see that red tail indicating that there is some serious range on the launcher. It's kind of Noctis-esque. And then she does a very standard looking spin move here. And then this here is important. So if you don't know about Kunimitsu, this is her stance. This is set stance, where she dashes in, and it's what she uses for combo carry. She can extend her combos a lot with this stance, and it's very good for that. And then this string right here is set 1-2. Right here in the old game, she would do 1-2-4, which was a flip kick, the final hit, and that would be her bound move. Bound is the old version of spin, so this is where she would do her bound or spin in the old combo. Instead, right here, she's going to go for this punching dagger attack for just a damage ender. It's actually very similar to, for example, Moonglide 1-2 from Elisa, but as we're going to see later, they've actually given her spin capabilities here as well, so the combo is kind of similar to the way it looked in the past. And now we get to see this legacy costume. It's her mother's costume. I think she even has the identical mole under the lip right there, which is kind of weird. Maybe she paints that on, but I guess this is just for people who really love the old look of Kunimitsu from Tag 2. And then the interesting part about this sequence is if we stop right here, it looks to me like when Kunimitsu starts moving here, she is in full crouch, which makes me believe that this launcher we see right here is her new while standing launcher. She already had a pretty cool while standing launcher in the past. It was while standing 3, a kind of cartwheel kick kind of a move. Instead, it looks like she's going to have this, which again is very Noctis-esque. It's like a big jump, 2-hit launch and spin move, and I wouldn't be surprised if this built-in spin is the only way she's able to actually spin after this launcher, similar to what Noctis does with while standing 2-2 and Miguel does with while standing 2-4, for example. That can really limit your combo damage of a while standing launcher because typically you want to spin kind of late so that you can get many more hits into your combo. Then she's going to do set stance again, and this is interesting. She does back 4 out of set stance. Back 4 is this kick that she used to get into her back turn, and then she had combo utility. She had extensions on this back 4 so that they had to respect the back turn, but it looks to me like she's going to have back 4 and then 1-4 right here. This knee is a very important move for this character because it's a fast mid that she does, and if she holds forward after the 4, she goes into set stance. So she can use this mid to float them, dash in with the stance and get distance, and then do it again, right? And then this is the famous Tumble Throw, which she uses for a damage combo ender in the open. So this is just set 4, but when it hits an opponent who is in a comboed state, you know, an air state, then this throw all happens automatically and she gets her combo damage. And she bounces off and lands really cool. So that looks awesome. That's something that she had to have. And now we get to see this new sort of urban ninja costume, which is really cool looking. I'm glad that, you know, they like to put daughters and young ladies in the games, but at least they didn't go too far in trying to make her sexy. I actually think this looks pretty awesome. It's probably the costume that most people are going to go for when you see this character online. Okay, so with this string right here, what did she say? Haha no nani kakite. So she's fighting for her mother's name. This to me looks like 1, 2, and then there's obviously a final extension here with the dagger, some sort of dagger swipe. Again, very Noctis-esque, you know, his 10 frame is the exact same thing. And that final dagger swipe that is about to come out here is obviously going to be a high because Nina wants to duck it because she starts crouching. But Kunimitsu can apparently cancel this, I'm going to guess, by holding back and getting into back turn. And then she does what I'm going to guess is back turn 1+2 for a back turn mid launcher. Causes a nice crumple over stun launcher on Nina. And this is what I talked about earlier, the forward 4 and then hold forward. That right there. So that's forward 4 into set stance. Again, she does the back 4 move, which might not have the notation back 4. To do a float here, gets into back turn. And then the back turn, I think 1-4 again, or 2-4. And then set 1-2. And now you can see that she also has a spin move version off of set 1-2. So that's the way it's very similar to her old combo. You can see it sends the opponent very far for the spin right here. So I'm guessing what you're going to want to do when you're in this position with Kunimitsu is you can probably do a deep dash and then manual set stance into the set 4 to get the tumble throw, and that will give you good damage. Or maybe do set into some sort of carry move to convert that to the wall right there. And now we see another costume. She has Xbox ears. It looks kind of terrible in my opinion. It looks like some sort of character that George Lucas would force into some terrible cantina scene in a new Star Wars Blu-ray. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's pretty cool. Looks like a priestess of some sort of a weird religion. But she has Xbox ears. And a beak. So this is her Doton. She used to kind of go invisible and go into the ground right here. This spin move looks kind of powerful, honestly. It does a nice chunk of damage there, and it has homing properties. The interesting part about this whole sequence, in my opinion, is she's obviously doing her rage drive here for a combo ender. She does a Sonic the Hedgehog at the end, but look at Jin right now. He actually ends up in a wall splatted state right here, and he's falling forward. So she has the opportunity to do a complete wall combo on top of what she already did. So her rage drive probably has the potential to do a chunk of damage and then give her a full wall combo after that. We have a lot of rage drives in the game that function kind of like that now. If you think about Kazumi, for example, what she will do, and she can even do resets with her wall combo after that. It's just weird that it has so many hits, the actual rage drive, and she jumps around, you know. I think some of us are tired of having to watch really long cinematic combos, but it obviously looks really cool and it's exciting for a trailer. And then they're going to show the stage, but there are a couple of more Kunimitsu moves before we move on. Alright, so this is Kunimitsu's hop kick. She can do a single hit for the hop kick, or she can do the double knees, and it's just a cool cinematic little hop kick. It used to function very similar to a normal hop knee, kind of what Yoshimitsu has, but she can do, like I said, the second hit, which again is very Noctis-esque. This feels like a female Noctis for the most part so far. She also looks a lot cooler. So that's her hop kick right there, and then this is her old 2-2, which used to be a nice little fast block punisher. I think it used to be 12 frames to impact, but it's been a long time since I used this character in the old games. And now she has a final hit here, which looks like 2-2-2, and then she goes into set stance. It's difficult to tell whether or not the set stance is a property built into the string of 2-2-2 here, or whether or not it just recovers very fast, and then she does manual set. And then she does what looks like set 2, which used to be a really cool counter hit launcher in the old games. I don't know if it's going to have that in this game as well, but we can tell that it is a spin move. So you have a simple, easy to use, fast spin move out of set here. That's going to be very important for combo conversions. I doubt it's going to be optimal damage for a lot of combos, but you're going to be very happy about having that there for a lot of situations where you're trying to convert or extend and so on. So the combo utility looks solid. We've seen a bunch of good spin moves so far. And this is sort of 3-hit string, a low kick into a high kick, and then she throws the dagger, and if the dagger hits in the air, I'm going to assume she gets this final hit here. So this is probably going to be the optimal damage ender for combos. Then we see her wall bounce move. Looks like a back 1+2 or forward 1+2. That's the old back 4, and she stays in back turn and does a 3-hit string here with a wall break property on the final hit. And this move, I love that they actually put this in. So this is her old back 2, and it used to be a really nice, fast, little, really long range, just dagger swipe. Now we can tell that it's going to have spin properties and it's going to have armor properties. So I think this is going to be a really good move. I think it's going to work for creating wall splats when people are trying to escape the wall. It's also great to just have a nice, large hitbox, single hit spin move, you know. Can be very useful when you float people and you have to do awkward combos. I used to love this move, so I'm glad that they put it in. But it's obviously going to function very differently. And then she does her rage art, which isn't really interesting, so we're going to skip that and look at some other characters. Okay, so this just says, you know, rebalancing. We already saw this move, the weird hop kick for Hwoarang. Worried about that one. It can be potentially really annoying. This is interesting. Look at this. Kazumi has a new guaranteed setup for her while running 2 right here. It looks like the old palm thrust power crush that she used to have, but the move she's doing right here doesn't have armor properties. So maybe some sort of fast whiff punisher. Probably going to be very solid damage, and it looks like it's completely guaranteed here. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't show it. They show us a new move for Julia. It looks like Leroy's back 3 kind of, but it's just a really high damage knockdown move that gives her a grip of guaranteed damage with a ground hitting mid on the ground, which is interesting because that is already all of Julia's moves. This is pretty fun. It's forward 1+2 for bears, which used to be a really strange little launcher that you had to do these weird combos with, like float. You had to float them with lows and stuff. It was obviously not intentional for this to even be a combo. And they've added a second hit here, which reminds me of sort of Jinpachi with a spin. You can tell by Kuma here, the way he's flying in the air, that he's actually spun right here. That's a 17 frame impact move, I think, right now. They might change that, obviously, but it has good range, and it's decent for the hitbox that it has, but it just doesn't have a lot of utility. Now that that's going to spin, it can actually probably end up being pretty useful. You already have very good whiff punishment with the bears, though, because of the range of the down forward too, but this might be a little bit safer. They might have to respect the first hit because of the potential of doing the extension. Maybe it's even going to be useful as a spin move in other combos. Who knows? This is, again, really interesting. So we see a new parry or reversal for Asuka, and it's obviously going to be a full launcher. Now this could either be, I mean, very worrying and very, very annoying and not something we want to see, or it could be very benign. You know, Miguel has a parry that turns into a full combo. He has to be in Savage to do it, but that isn't exactly, you know, something that people worry about when they play against Miguel. So how that parry or reversal works is going to be very interesting to find out. But if it turns out that it's, you know, similar to what she already has, but it gives her a full combo, then we all better start practicing our chickens. Otherwise, we might be in big trouble. And we get to see a new string here for Master Raven. Difficult to tell exactly what they want with this one. It might be some sort of combo conversion tool. But then again, the first 2 hits look kind of short range and don't look like they might be great for that. So not sure exactly what this one is supposed to be good for, but it's another thing that we just have to lab. And then this is pretty interesting. So they show a kind of Hammer of the Gods move from Paul, and he trades with Brian's back 1, I think it is right here, yeah. And you can see that Paul has armor on his version. It's obviously a mid, and if you look at this knockdown, that looks like he's going to be able to get guaranteed stuff. Probably Iron Mountain, probably even Death Fist. So it's interesting how, you know, if you think about like Asuka, what does that character do? She does reversal, so they've given her like a new reversal. Julia knocks you on the ground and then follows up with ground hitting guaranteed mids. Paul does maximum Unga Bunga and collects free Death Fist. It's kind of like they're leaning into the traditional characteristics of these characters. It's very difficult to say anything about balancing because we don't have any properties yet, you know. So we can only speculate. This might all be, you know, absolutely fine. But then the biggest troll in the history of like Tekken trailers happened. I laughed out loud when I saw this. It's so funny because first of all, they're gonna have you see Fuck'em Rum like first thing when you turn on the game from now on, which kind of surprised me. I talked about Star Wars earlier. You know how The Force Awakens try to pretend like the prequels never happened. I thought Namco would be like trying to hide Fuck'em Rum and Leroy in a dark corner and pretend they never made these characters because they've been such an embarrassment, but apparently not. But this is the big troll that I wanted to talk about. This is so interesting. So honestly, in my opinion, the characters that we've seen so far, they talked about balance, aren't really like super weak characters that we really wanted to see rebalanced. Maybe the Bears, but I was expecting, you know, Lars, Gigas, characters like that, and now Lars shows up. And it's like, wow, what are they going to give him for his new move? This is so important. Everybody's really excited. And then he starts doing his combo. And right as he's about to do like his new move, they zoom in on somewhere completely different and show you something you're not interested in. And it looks like he's doing like a lightning screw from stance here or spinning with something. It's really difficult to tell. But it's like by far, in my opinion, and then some sort of new rage drive maybe even. So by far the most interesting like new move they could have showed or character they could have showed a new move for, and they just zoom in, you know, somewhere else and you completely miss it. I just thought that was really, really funny. And that's pretty much it for what we see in terms of like new moves in this trailer. So, oh no, we do have this Fang move. Wow, this is really weird. Look, so you know he has down back 3, which is like a really long range, really fast and powerful low poke, but it's launch punishable on block, right? Well, check this out. That's the move. Guaranteed follow-up with knockdown. It looks like it might be good Oki as well. That is going to be strange, unless they've made it so, like, you know, if you block that low now, it staggers Feng and you can get a full combo. That's the way to balance it, in my opinion. But if it's the low the way it is right now and it just has that guaranteed follow-up, it might be like the most oppressive long-range mix-up low ever. It's pretty crazy. It's like a hell sweep, but it's, you know, got hella range and everything else. So yeah, really interesting. So that's everything new that I wanted to talk about in this video. I think the rest is mostly fluff. Thank you so much for watching it. What we really want to see right now is that big, nice list of patch notes. That's the fun part. That's the big enchilada. As far as I know, it's not out yet, but when that shows up, we're probably going to be talking about that and going into the game together and looking at the characters, you know, speculating. But again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again very soon.